In this video, we are going to be replacing this flywheel, and this is a new flywheel, but I'll show you guys how we took out the old one using some bolts from the bell housing as well as a wrench to hold this thing in place. So we broke all those bolts free, and then we took this to a machinist, got it resurfaced. So this is what it looks like after being resurfaced, because I want to get this in good condition before we put in our new clutch. And so this is what it should look like. The factory specs on this thing go to 76 foot-pounds for the final torque on those six flywheel bolts, and this is bolting right into that crankshaft. And so once you do that, this is what it'll look like. And so hope this video helps if you're doing this, and stay tuned. Alright guys, so we have now got the flywheel back from the machinist. It cost 50 bucks and we got it milled. This is the original Honda one, so I feel much more comfortable with this. The reason you do this in the first place, by the way, is that you want to make sure that these surfaces are flat so that when your new clutch is sitting on it, it's going to be wearing evenly, because if these clutches are kind of wearing at an angle instead of just flat down, that can cause your new clutch to have issues too. So basically machining your flywheel, and then also I'm going to hit it with some brake clean after I put in all the bolts, just to make sure you've got a really clean grease-free surface. Is going to help prevent your clutch from slipping. So that's what we're going to be doing now, is actually mounting it into your engine bay. And there's going to be 6 bolts. The torque spec on these is going to be 76 foot-pounds, and you do it in the star pattern. So you go like that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you just kind of keep doing that thing, just to make sure that you get this thing to go down flush and sit nicely against that engine block. And it's going to go against the crankshaft right there. And so once we do that, then we can proceed with installing the actual clutch and pressure plate on this thing too. So that's what we're going to be working on, and stay tuned. Alright guys, so we just got the flywheel installed and torqued. I did a 2-stage torque where I did all the bolts to 35 foot-pounds before going all the way up to 76. So these are now all at 76 foot-pounds, so that's the Honda spec for this flywheel. It's looking really clean. Just wiped it down with some brake grease on some rags, and I'm going to be doing the same thing before I put in this pressure plate to make sure to wipe off that grease, because they put grease on this thing to keep it from rusting while it's in the box. So make sure to wipe it clean before you install it, because otherwise your clutch is going to slip. So I'm going to wipe that. Then we've got a bunch of these 10 mil bolts that I'm going to be torquing down, and these go to 19 foot-pounds is the factory spec. So I'm going to swap out the bits on the torque wrench I have, and then we can get our new clutch installed and use our little guide pin thing. So that's all going to be hopefully not too bad. So we'll see how it goes.